Hey, Calvary family. I've really enjoyed doing these devotions this week, and I pray that you have been encouraged by the Lord through them. We're going to look in Psalms one last time for our last devotion of the week. Psalm 63, verses 1 through 3. And David, he wrote this psalm when he was in the wilderness of Judah. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read Psalm 63, verses 1 through 3. O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you, my flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. So I have looked upon you in the sanctuary, beholding your power and glory. Because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you. So we have verse 1. David says, O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. Now David says honestly to the Lord, he says, I earnestly seek after you. He could honestly say that he seeks after the Lord with his life. Now, can you say the same thing about yours? Are you seeking after God? Do you recognize the need that you have for God? And are you seeking after him every single day? Are you spending time in prayer? Are you spending time in his word? Or are your priorities elsewhere? See, David, he expresses his need for God by saying, my soul thirsts for you, God, and my flesh faints for you. Now remember, he wrote this while he was in the wilderness. Okay, so I'm picturing he's in this vast desert and he's weary and tired. He needs water, he needs food. But that's not where his focus is. His focus isn't on, I need water, I need food, or I'm going to pass out, I'm going to die. He writes this and he just says, God, I need you. I'm thirsting after you, Lord. My flesh is fainting after you. Now, rather than allowing his thoughts to be consumed with water and food, he shifts them to thirsting and hungering after God. He recognizes that his need for God is greater than his need for food and water. Do you realize that? Do you know that God is actually better than food and water? Do you realize that you actually need God more than those things? I mean, we as believers, we should be hungering and thirsting after God in a much greater way than we anticipate our next meal. Do you hunger and do you thirst after the Lord? Now, verse 3, he says, your steadfast love is better than life. Now, David has already recognized that God is better than food and he's better than water and he needs him more than these things. But now he's saying that God's love is in fact better than life itself. He loves God. He loves the love that God has for him more than he loves his own life. He's willing to say, I don't love my life as much as I love you, Lord. I love you more than water. I love you more than food. I love you more than life. He's saying, take my life away, and I'm okay because I'll be with you. And that's how much I love you. Now, can you honestly say that to God? That you love him more than life itself? Because again, as believers, as a church, we should be able to say all of this to God and be honest. We should be able to say, God, we love you this much. Now, does your life does it look like this? Are you hungering and thirsting after God? Are you seeking after him every day? We should all be doing that. Now, these verses, they challenge me to live my life in a way that reflects my great need for God. And my prayer is that as a church, we will all live this way. That we will all love God this much because he truly is better than food, better than water, and better than life itself. We need to live this way. Our life has to reflect it. Well, like I said, I've enjoyed doing these devotions, and I really cannot wait until we can all meet together again.